Okay, good evening. This is Mike Merlin Means with another episode of our homegrown show, Arts Talk. And this evening we are with.
Diane McKenzie from Ghostlight Children's Theater.
Very cool. So, what is that? Let's cut to the fun stuff first. What's a ghost light?
Okay, so Ghostlight Children's Theater was named that because in the theater, especially professional theaters where a lot of unions are involved, um, the theater leaves a single light burning on the stage. It's a stand light without any lampshades or anything, and it burns all the time. And it's called the ghost light, and it's there because that's the one piece of equipment that it doesn't matter who you are, you can touch that. But the reason I've selected, yes, you don't get into any trouble if you touch the ghost light. But the reason I selected it is because the ghost light is always that beacon that draws people to the stage. When you walk into a dark theater, it's the light that brings you to the center. And that's what I wanted this program to be. I wanted it to be the beacon that draws all of those kids into the arts. So it was kind of symbolic for me, and that's why we went with that.
Okay, so Ghostlight Children's Theater. How long you guys been around?
We actually had our first camp. We started with a camp in June of 2019. It was a 1 week long camp, and we had that first year we had 15 campers, and we had a great time. We had peer counselors that came in and worked with the young ones, and we had some adult counselors that kind of oversaw the process. And that very first year and that 1 week, we covered lots of different basic theater type skills. We tried to cover a little bit of everything. We want them to have a broad experience. So during that week, we actually rehearsed, and at the end of the week, performed a production. Some of the kids were able to do it without their scripts, others were not, but that wasn't the main goal, was for them to memorize. But we talked about sound and lights, and we actually came and saw you guys for a field trip across the facility at Suddenly,
Oh
which I
my
thought was
God,
great.
yes, you did. I'd forgotten about
You
that.
Yes, they did. They loved that. They had a great time. They got to record and they got to hear how they mixed sound. And you talked to them a lot about lighting and the different moods. And they got to do green screen stuff, which they had a great time with. Um, we talked a little bit about the stage basics. We did acting games and theater games, and like I said, we just had a really great time. And it was so well received that the following March, we actually did our first performance. And so in March of 2020, we were fortunate enough, through an association with a teacher, we were able to perform at Mojave High School. And we had 29 cast members, and we performed Tinkerbell, it's basically Peter Pan, but it's kind of from Tinkerbell's perspective. And it was a wonderful, wonderful show. The cast was incredible. We had as young as 6 and as old as 17 in our cast, which was a really broad range. And we literally finished right in front of COVID shutdown. We had our last show on Saturday. The kids were out of school Monday for COVID shutdown. So we
Ooh.
barely got that in. Yeah. And like everything else, it shut us down for about a year. Following that, when we were able to get back together in person, camp is our big thing. Every summer we do a camp. This is going to be our third year for camp, and we have grown every year. We've improved camp every year. Last year's camp in 2021, we had 30 campers, Once again, performed a show at the end of the season or the end of the week. Our focus last summer was radio plays. So we had live Foley on stage, which is live sound effects. The kids, you know, read their performances. They wrote commercials for the breaks at the radio station. You know, it was great fun. We had a wonderful time. 30 kids that year. So we doubled from our first year, which we were really happy about. And that camp also kind of was our jumping off point for beginning a regular season. So we are associated with River Cities Community Theater Players, or RCCTP. They are our parent organization, and we do fall under their 501c3. And moving to Sudden Link, as we did, we were able to integrate Ghostlight into the regular season. So we're able to perform 2 shows a year and have camp. So that's what we currently are set up to do. And our first official performance at Sudden Link was in October of 2021, and that was Annie. And we had about 26 kids in that cast. It was a great show. We had amazing turnout. We had talked before about the number of people we can put in the gym at Sun and Link, and that was the show that we pulled 197. One of our performances there, it was incredible. And then we followed that up in March with Schoolhouse Rock Live, which we kind of worked out of the box on that one. We did a road show on that one, and we were able to perform at Young Scholars Academy and at the Boys and Girls Club one day, and then we did one regular performance at Sun and Lake. So it's just been great fun. The kids are very enthusiastic, and they're always asking, what are we doing next? And we've got a lot of what I would call regular performers now. It's so much fun to see how they change in just a few years. Kids grow so much faster, and they have so many more milestones in a couple of years than an adult does.
Oh, yeah.
And we have campers that started out with us that were young and had no idea what they were doing, and were stage fright and afraid to get up there and do anything, that now are leaders with this group. And they sing, they dance, they are mentors and strong examples for the younger ones. It's wonderful to see them blossom.
That's got to be very rewarding.
It's incredibly rewarding. People ask me, why do you put so much time and effort into this children's theater? Because with working a full-time job still, and having a family, and being board president for the RCCTP, I'm a busy girl, and the children's theater takes up a lot of my time. But it's because of that. It's because I get to see how these kids have grown and evolved, and I've seen how it's affected their lives, and I've seen, I love to see all the non-theater things that come out in these kids: the confidence, the ability to speak in public, the leadership skills that they achieve. They're all amazing students. Because I ask parents about that. How are they doing in school? Is this too much for them? Are we overwhelming them? And my kids they're all scholars. They do a great job at school, and I know that that's partially because of some of the things they're learning with us. So it's just a win-win situation all the way around when you get to work with the kids, because it's incredibly satisfying to know that we're making a difference in their lives.
Yeah, there's just so many basic life skills that are well developed. I don't know, born, but used in theater on in performance on every level. I mean, you got to get along. You don't necessarily have to like people, but you got to get along. You have a common goal, just one goal that everybody is working on.
Right.
And when everybody commits, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
It is. We do this thing um, before shows, and of course the kids all know it usually makes me cry. But every show we're ready to perform, um, we all stand in a circle and we all link hands, and they close their eyes and they put their heads down for a solid minute. And it's always really exciting for the new ones because they don't know what this is, but the ones that have been with me for a while, they expect it, and this kind of melds them all together. But and I tell them, it's been scientifically proven that if you have contact with somebody else and you're quiet for a minute, your hearts sink, your heartbeats will sink. And so I tell them, now you guys are literally working as one. You're here with one purpose, one goal, and you're doing it together, and it's and you're all perfectly in sync. So that's what I leave them with before I send them out onto the stage, because that is probably the most important. There's so much they learn, from theater, but that's the most important thing, especially in today's society where they are on their phones and people don't talk and they don't know how to
Mhm.
have conversations. This gives
Yeah.
them the opportunity to know that maybe, you know, maybe the person that they've struggled with, during a couple rehearsals, and they know that they're now focused just like that other person is, the exact same way for the same purpose and same goal. And it's something they all love to do. And the older ones will come over and they'll say, "Are we going to do the heart thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to do the hard thing." And I usually only did it at the opening show, but they would say, "Oh no, we want to do it tonight too." So second show, we do it again. And, it's something that they look forward to. Another thing that we do, and actually with the last show, we didn't do it. And I really felt like it was missing. We do this thing called emoja. And at the end of each rehearsal, once again, we all stand in a circle and they connect feet. And there's a little mantra that gets said. And then everyone goes around the circle and says one thing, one positive thing about the day, about the rehearsal. And it could be that, their mom packed them their favorite snack. If they're having a really bad rehearsal, that's enough. And, a lot of times it's, "Oh, it was so great when, Sally hit that note she's been struggling with," or "it was so much fun when, Bobby and I got that dance step to work," and those are the kinds of positive affirmations they leave with at the end of every rehearsal. And it's one of the things that they also very much look forward to. And like I said, last show we kind of got away from it a little bit because we were always running long, and I always feel bad when parents are sitting outside.
Yeah.
But it was noticeable that it was missing. And it's something that we'll definitely be bringing back, and we'll do at the end of camp every day. So it's just a really good way to reaffirm all that positive energy and all the pluses that they're getting from it, instead of just, "Oh, Miss Diane yelled all night tonight because she wasn't happy with how we were doing."
But that's what directors do.
That is what and they know that they are loved. They know that they are loved deeply, and that I support everything they do. But yes, sometimes I get frustrated too. But yeah, we always try to make it fun. It's not just we work hard. Oh goodness, we work hard, but we try and make it fun too. Like for example, we were doing 4-hour rehearsals for Schoolhouse Rock because there's so much dancing involved in this show. And so I told him, I said, "Okay, this coming up Saturday, we're doing boot camp." I said, "I'll make it worth your while. Just come ready to work hard." And, we did great snacks, but they came in and they all had, goodie bags for whenever they wanted to take a break during the day, and different things to snack on or drink. And then they had dance party. So even though they're out there dancing and
Whoa.
they're choreography, anytime I would flip the music to something that wasn't in the show, they had to stop what they were doing and dance. And we had a great time, and it really did take the pressure off. And we try and make it a good time for everybody. And because, like I said, there are days that maybe don't go so great, but we try and make up for them. And one of the other things that we always like to do is we do upside down rehearsal. Our last full rehearsal before 10 week, we let everybody play. And a lot of times the improv gets going, and that makes for a lot of giggling and laughing, and it kind of just releases all the tension and lets them come back the next week focused, and it's good memories for them. They like knowing that they got to, when Captain Hook played Tinkerbell's role, that's
Ah,
something they'll never forget, and they have
yeah.
fun with. So yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff too, because they're kids. They're kids. I can't be a slave driver too
Well,
bad.
and sitting here as a supposed adult, doing a show in a week. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. Now this year camp's a little different. We've grown again, so we are actually we're having two camps this year, and they're running semi simultaneously. So we're having senior camp, which are for my older kids, 7th to 12th grade, and they're getting 2 weeks this year. I just I just take vacation and I spend 2 weeks at camp with them. But so they're doing 2 weeks, and they're going to be much more intensive. So they're going to come into camp, and they're from day one. We'll do an hour workshop in the morning on some different area of practice that we want to work on. But then from there, it's just going to be intensive, learning your lines, blocking, entrances, exits, everything that has to be done for this particular show. The second week of their camp, we start junior camp. And so junior camp will be from 2nd grade through 6th grade. They actually will also be putting on a performance at the end of the 1 week, but theirs is less labor intensive. They're the more of our traditional camp, where they kind of cover a broad range, where they have more games. They still rehearse and practice for their show, but it's not quite the same experience. The older ones are ready for it. Um, they get a little bored with the lighter atmosphere, but the younger ones, we don't want to overwhelm them. So
Mhm.
I actually have a great person who helped me last year with camp. She's going to run junior camp for me, because I can't do both simultaneously. But her name's Kimberly Moss, and she has been involved in productions all through high school, and the kids just love her, and she's like, yes, I want to do this, and I want to help you with this. So I have great staff, and it's just going to be so much fun this year, because we're going to be able to really work on more of their acting skills this year with the older kids, um, which is something that I haven't had as much opportunity to do when we're trying to corral such a wide range of kids, from second through. So this is going to be what I love to do, because I love to direct, and I love to help them achieve the character in full for their performance. But yeah, they're gonna do a show in 2 weeks, and it's a full show. Um, just got the rights to it today, so got the legalities taken care of, and I'm
So,
really
are you
really
going to
excited.
sit on that, or are you going to share that with us, or do we have to wait?
No, no, no. I'm happy to share with you. The production we're doing, it's a play from it's not a recognizable show. It's not something anybody would probably have heard of. It's called The Redemption of Gertie Green, and Gertie, the main character, is a girl that comes into school. She moves in middle of the year, and she very quickly earns herself a reputation as a bully.
Mm.
The She almost gets expelled, but the drama teacher steps in and says, don't expel her, just let her come to my class instead. And so she comes into the class and she doesn't want to participate. And it's all about how she gets where the other kids start to understand her. And there's some things that some of the kids know that they share down the road that help people change their minds about Gertie. And it's really a very, very heartfelt story. It's socially something the kids have to deal with on a regular basis.
Hmm.
So it's meaningful in that respect. But I had a couple of my kids, my older ones, read through it to get the thumbs up, and they all really loved the script. They attached to it very, very quickly. So I think they're going to really put a lot of heart and soul into it because they do relate to it so much. Um, the junior camp actually will be doing something obviously a little lighter. They
Yeah.
actually they have one as well that they're looking at that might also run along the bullying line. But there's also another one Kim hasn't decided between two, but one of them's called Camp Kindness, and it's all about being nice to yourself and to others and to your friends and people that you don't know. So we're kind of hitting the social side this year with camp, but we're very excited about that. And then for our fall production, which will be in October, we'll start auditioning for that probably the end of July. We're actually going to do the Canterville Ghost.
Oh,
Yeah, great show. Some people will know the story, others won't. It's actually a piece of literature that has been around for quite some time. There's been many versions of it, written and done for TV and movies. And but the script I found, I actually did back in Ohio about 10 years ago, and it's a great script. The kids are going to have lots of fun with it, and it's got enough comedy, but it's still going to be a nice ghost story for Halloween, and I think it's just going to fit in very nicely. um, the spring musical we haven't selected yet. We're still working through some things, but I am 90% sure I can guarantee it's something that everyone in this town is going to recognize and be excited about. So
cool.
it'll be something that it definitely will be something that they will know and be excited to come see. So we just haven't quite locked that down yet. So I don't want to say anything
Of
about.
course.
But no, if it was locked down, I'd be telling you. I don't worry about keeping that kind of stuff a secret. But yeah, it's just not. We're just not quite there yet on that. We're working through some of the music, and my music director is making sure that she doesn't feel like it's too over the top for the kids. We had wanted to do Into the Woods, but I don't want to do the junior version. I feel like there's too much of the story lacking in the junior version, and she would like to have at least one more musical under their belts before they handle Sondheim music, which is very.
I can see that.
Yeah. So she said, let's give them one more year to develop, and then we'll tackle that one, because the kids were really excited about the possibility of that particular show, which is it's a great show. It's one of my favorites. But which is why I want to do it. But I agree with her. I don't want to put undue stress on the kids, and she's had two shows to work with them, but not in the respect that she's priming them for something so big. So
Mhm.
now that that's on the radar, she'll work a little harder on that, and she's incredible. My Holly Proctor is my music director, and she's incredible. She does a great job with the kids. They all love her. She's a wonderful teacher. So and definitely holds the experience and knowledge that I don't have with musicals. So I'm really excited that we're able to do musicals with her being part of our group.
Musicals are fun. I think everybody on the planet, with the possible exception of myself, adores them. Um, I don't like them. I don't know. But let's not go there. So, to the best of my recollection, I remember reading that sign up for summer camp started today.
It did actually. So if anybody is interested and they want to come into camp, first of all, camp is free. That's something that we feel really, really strongly about because, you know, we know that there are other camps available that they can participate in, but, you know, they're up into the hundreds of dollars for fees. And that's just not something everybody in this town can do. So we just said, you know what, we're just going to make it happen. And we're just going to make sure that camp is free for everybody who wants to come. So we have been
That's
very fortunate.
wonderful.
Yes, we have been very, very fortunate that we have had the revenue come in from shows and the support from the community that has made that possible. I have amazing support. I've got and I'm not going to say quite yet who it is, but I've got a restaurant owner here in town who is helping out. We give the kids not breakfast, but we feed them lunch every day, and that's covered. They don't pay for that. And we have a couple of private donors that are stepping in with large sums of money to help us with that as well. It's been incredible. They will definitely get their kudos when everything is finalized and ready to go.
Oh,
But
yeah.
oh yeah, we couldn't do it without them. I have great parents. The parents are incredible. They're always willing to step in and help out. But if they want to come to camp, we are this year because it's 2 camps and we have limited number of spaces. We only have X amount of space in the room that we're using at Sun and Lake. So I do have to keep the numbers at a set number. So I have 20 spots per camp. So 40 kids total, which is a lot of kids, but
Hmm.
yeah, but I think we're not going to have any problem filling that. So if they go to our Facebook page, Ghost Light Children's Theater, you'll know it's us because there is a a a black stage with a single light lit when they find the page. Um, but and it also has all of our local information. But there is a link on there that says exactly how to go to our website. The website we use strictly for camp registration, so it's got a very very long address. So I just rather you go to the Facebook page and go to the link. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's very long because I use a outside source for my web page.
Okay.
But it when you go to the web page, there's a link there to sign up. We are having the kids audition this year. So we'll be doing that on the 28th and 29th of May. But they just sign up for an audition spot. It's a 10-minute spot. You'll be there 20 minutes to fill out your paperwork and for the kids to audition. The audition is not auditions in the traditional sense. We just want to get a feel for who the kids are. Um, Obviously, if we have 80 kids sign up for camp, we're going to have to narrow it down to the 40 we can take. So we want to make sure that we're getting kids that we feel are definitely interested in the theater, that are going to benefit the most from it. They don't have to be incredible actors when they come in. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for desire. And we can see that desire even in some of the shyest kids. So I don't want it to discourage anybody. Say, oh, well, my kid's really shy. They're going to get on stage and they're not going to do anything. That's not what we're looking for. So it's just a way to get a feel for them. We'll talk to them. We'll probably do a couple of little improv exercises with them. Nothing stressful, and then we'll make our decisions from there as far as who we're going to bring into camp. As of right now, there are spaces still available on Saturday for the auditions. We've got right now, I believe, with my new numbers, I think I've got 22 signed up already for camp. So, the kids that know about it and are excited about it, they get signed up really fast. And then the next couple of weeks, we kind of fill in the blanks from word of mouth and, things like your podcast or your broadcast and things like that. So we get the word out slowly. The rest of it will fill in. But, like I said, we've doubled our numbers every year. So we don't want to turn away, but it's also not a bad problem to have.
No, it's not
Yeah.
really.
So it's just, we don't want it to be we don't want to be a place where parents bring their kids who want nothing to do with what we're doing. So that's why the auditions happen.
Yeah, you don't want to just be babysitters. You want people with some interest.
Exactly, exactly. So that's why we're going that route. But yeah, get on the Facebook page. You can get hold of me through the Facebook page. I'm really good about answering emails for questions. I know there's lots of questions. I probably field 15, 20 questions a day that people have about camp and what's involved. And, you know, is it really something for my kid? And, and I'm willing to talk to you. I take phone calls, whatever I need to do. So we just want it to be a good experience for everybody involved. And we're just so happy to be able to provide such an amazing experience for all these kids.
It sounds wonderful. I've seen a few of your productions over the years, and I've never been less than wonderfully entertained and just left happy and smiling, and occasionally even me, maybe humming a tune. I don't know. Some of them
Well,
just get caught in your head and you can't get rid of them.
they do. They do. And because I know you were there for Tinkerbell, and
Yep.
having you there for Tinkerbell was wonderful for me because, I'm still learning a lot of the tech side of things, and you are a tremendous help to us. So we are very
Thank
grateful
you.
for the support that you've given us, and just the patronage, because there's just something magical about seeing kids on stage.
It is. It's yes, and it gives you hope for arts,
Yeah,
that the arts may continue to, last longer than we do. And it's just, yeah, for those of us that have put so much of our life into the arts, yeah, you've got to bring in the next generation, or, why are you even doing it?
right. We're so lucky to be supported by RCCTP. First of all, I didn't give them enough. I get talking about the kids, and I kind of lose track of what I'm pretty passionate about what I'm doing, but you know, they have been the instrument that made this all possible, and they still support us and make it possible. And we have undying gratitude to them for taking the leap and letting me step out and create this new branch of what we do. And you know they're they help whenever we need them, and they're always there to support us. And they work with us as far as sharing space and equipment and flats and so much that we couldn't be doing what we're doing without them. And I never ever want anyone to think that that's not incredibly important. And we literally couldn't do what we're doing without them right now. So they're very, very important. And of course, also we have had tremendous support from the city, Bullhead City Parks and Rec. They let us use their facility for camp every year for free. And
Whoa, nice.
yeah, and they are, they support and they help and whatever we need, and they're accommodating. And you know we couldn't do this without them either. So like I said, my list of thank yous, it could take up an entire hour. People that stepped in and helped us out. It's it's so wonderful to see not just what the kids are doing, but the support and the rally from the community that we get. I have moms that put together, dinners for the kids on nights, and they make sure that there are snacks for them on long days, and they're always there to help. I have the greatest parents in the world. It takes us less than an hour to strike a set after a show.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean they're there. It's like the show's over, they start putting chairs away. They walk up with their drills in their hands to take down whatever we need taken down, and they carry and tote and lift, and within an hour, everything's back to normal, and we all get to go home and just relax the next day instead of worrying about strike. And I just, it's such a wonderful feeling to know you've got that kind of support. And
Yes, it is.
yeah, like I said, my thank you list is as long as my arm, and I'm always afraid I'm going to miss somebody because there's just so many wonderful people out there that do help us. So
Well, a lot of people will do things for the kids. I mean, just saying for looking to the future, no matter what it is, you take care of the kids. And well, okay, we're not getting any younger. At some point, at least in a not too distant future for me, it's going to be the kids taking care of me. I mean,
well, and that's what we all hope, that they all take care of us when we get to that point. And
yeah. And so we teach them love and understanding and getting along, and this is all just the core of any type of performance. Like we were talking before, for just a moment, we're one person.
yeah,
And when we take that bow at the end, we know that, yeah, we're one person and we just did a fine, wonderful thing. And we shared it with friends and family and the community. And, getting up there in front of the applause is spectacular.
it
If
is.
that doesn't feed your heart, nothing ever will.
I know, and that's like, I always make a point with the kids also to remind them that, you know, yeah, Lin Manuel Miranda is an incredible Alexander Hamilton, but if he didn't have, the bullet and the dancers and the king and all those people behind him, it'd be a pretty boring show.
Yeah.
So, it's every single part is important and it's critical. And I always tell them, you get up there and you may just be the person selling apples, but be the best apple seller you can be. Make them remember you. Make them believe that that was your one and only purpose in life, was to sell that apple. And everything that you do on that stage, you need to be proud of, and nothing less important or more important than anything else that's being done. And that's all the way from the person that pulls the curtain to the person that sings the biggest song. It doesn't matter. Everything's important, and without all of it, it's just not as good.
No, no, it's not.
And they they need to learn that you don't always have to be the biggest and the most important to make a difference.
Teamwork is teamwork and socialization. I mean, technology, as much as I love technology, it's taking a lot of that away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And the arts and even, sports, it brings us together, makes us a unified group. Yeah, you can do anything with a well-intentioned group. And so go out and do that. Try some theater, pull a curtain, maybe check out some lighting, play a piano, dance, whatever. Just get out there and shine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the other things about Ghost Light, is that they get to shine like that single light up on that stage. So yeah, it's a labor. Don't get me wrong, it is a labor, but it is a labor of love. And I always tell the kids, I hope you get a fraction of what I get from this, because it brightens my life. It really does.
Mhm. And it shows.
Yeah.
You can see it in your face when a show is closed. And I mean, you turn out the lights in the auditorium because you're shining enough for everybody. It's
Yeah.
wonderful to see that look on your face.
I'm a pretty proud director. That's for sure. That's for sure. The kids blow me away every single time. Every single time. I the kids all laugh at me because I get emotional, and it's nothing for you to look at me when the first couple of notes start and just to see the tears run because
Hmm.
of the pride that I feel and knowing how hard they've worked and to be able to see the faces of their parents and the children in the audience and the way they just, you know, absorb everything that they're doing. And it's an incredible feeling. I do this as much for me as I do for them.
And that's important because you have to do for yourself. You do.
Yeah.
Um, and if you can do for yourself and give to others all at the same time, then you're successful.
Yes. And I definitely would say that this group is successful. And I don't for a minute want people to think it's just me. It's not just me. I mean, yes, I'm the executive director and I do most of the directing of the shows, but I have a great group of people that help me out. And I said I mentioned Holly Proctor. She's a music director. Doreen Hansen, she is my right hand and she loves to be there with the kids and she loves to help them with characterization. She's been doing acting for many, many years with the adult group and she has transitioned in with us beautifully. Karen Bodewin, who so many people know from RCCTP, but also from Fox Creek. She's been a school nurse for many years. She's a calming force when I get a little crazy. She's always there to help support and help the kids and walk them through difficulties. And, we've got some new people that are helping out. Mike Ronk, who has recently moved into the area. He's a huge supporter. He's as in awe of these kids as I am. And he's helping this summer with camp. And he's like, he can't wait to get involved and get his hands on these kids, so to speak. And,
So to speak, yeah.
yeah, and Kim is doing a great job with the little ones, and she has a lot of experience that she can share with them. And I'm just so blessed with the people that have put themselves in my pathway, and I've been able to bring them on board in so many capacities and help these kids grow and develop and just undying gratitude. I know it's getting old. I just undying gratitude for all these wonderful people.
Okay, well, let's pull back to the what can we in the community do for you?
What can you do for me? Always, 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 we need money. I mean, I hate to bring it down to dollars and cents, but you know, it takes a lot to put on a show. And we're doing well with our revenue, but we're still in the fledgling stages. And it's really, really important to us. Us meaning all my executive committee and all the adults, to make sure that this continues to be something that these kids can do at no cost. They need to be able to come and participate. So, we don't want to ask them to buy their own costumes. We don't want to ask them to pay for scripts. We don't want them to have to participate monetarily because it's just real what they get from it's way more important to us than what we can get from them monetarily. So if you're out there and you're listening and you feel like what we're doing is of value, I guarantee you any donation that you want to provide to us is always going to be used to its fullest extent. We stretch it. I'm very much a penny pincher. I do as much as I possibly can with as little as I have to. And just to continue to make it better for the kids. We had a parent during Annie step up and provide us funds that made it possible for us to buy 2 additional mics, body mics. And
Whoa,
yeah, that
that's a
and
few bucks.
that's a few bucks. And it was just, I mean, yes, the adult theater benefits from that as well, but the fact that they were willing to do that because they saw the need and they wanted to make sure the show was as good as it possibly could be. And they're like, it's just going to make it better moving forward, show after show after show, if we can build up that technology. And those are the things that that bring me to tears, and humbles me to a level of you know undying gratitude. I know I
There it is again.
it is. It's just undying gratitude. It's so amazing for me, um, who was part of a. I'll back up a little bit on my own personal history. I started a program in Ohio at the local high school that for drama. They have musicals every year. They do amazing musicals. But I started, and I literally started with $0. We put on our first performance with a $400 grant that we were able to get from a licensing company, and we put on an incredible show with that. And so I know what it is to struggle from the very beginning and not have money to build a set, not to have money to make costumes, not to have money to pay for royalties. All of those things, which, you know, people don't realize. They're like, well, just, put the kids on the stage and just do your thing. Well,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't work that way. And everybody,
No, it doesn't.
their piece of the pie. And, it's nothing for a musical to cost us, $1,500 just in licensing.
Hmm.
You know, that's a big chunk of money to come up
It
with
is.
when and yes, but you're buying tech, you're paying for paint. There's so many things. It's not cheap to put on a show. And you know we want to do shows that draw, and shows that draw and bring people in are shows that generally need more and all of those.
Yeah.
So money is a thing. It truly is a thing. And we've been blessed with a grant here and a grant there and private donations, and we've been able to make that money stretch and do wonderful things with it. But it's always a need. It's sadly it's always a need, but it's the benefits of it, like I said, are going to be tenfold. What you give me, I'm going to stretch it and make it work. And it's I love, like, for example, for camp, we always make sure the kids have a t-shirt for camp. And it gives me such joy to see them run around town in their t-shirts.
Hmm.
It's just wonderful. And if that's an expense that I have to chip in myself to make happen, then I do that, because it's a big thing for me. I want them to walk away from it and remember and be able to look back at that. And of course, it advertises us too, of course. But
Of course.
those are the things. But other help. We're getting bigger, and the bigger we get, the bigger the shows we're going to do, and the more that's going to be involved. And if I'm directing, that takes a lot of my time, but I'm still having to build sets and make costumes. With Tinkerbell, I built that set and I made all the costumes. I made the fairy costumes. I directed. It was a lot. It was a lot, and I got to learn to let go and let other people come in and help. And so, if those people are out there and they have the ability or the time to support us in those ways, building, graphics, all of those different things that I'm spending all my time doing, it will be wonderful to have them step up and help us in that way. If you can't help me with the dollar, help me with your arms or your brain, and we'll use you for sure, for sure.
It's I don't know. Once you get the bug, I mean, once you get the bug in the theater, I mean, it's forever.
Yeah,
I had a
it is.
number of years where I did nothing, and then little spurts, and then but like, oh my God, there's an opportunity to do theater. I'm there. I mean, that was just
Yeah, yeah.
um,
It is
it
very
just
very, very addicting. So
it,
you get started and you can't quit. And
yeah,
even when you think you're going to, you still don't.
yeah, yeah. Okay, one more little thing as a wrap up here. People that want to help you financially or with their mind or labor or anything like that, how do they get a hold of you?
Best way to get hold of me is the Facebook page, Ghostlight Children's Theater on Facebook. That's the quickest method to get to me. You can also call River City's Community Theater Players, and I am going to struggle now because I don't have that number memorized. Um, but you can also find that online as well. Message me through the Facebook page. If I need to get hold of you, I'll send you my number. I'm not going to publicly give it out here.
No, of course not.
Yes, because it is my personal number. But that's the quickest method. You also can always catch me at an RCCTP general meeting, third Thursday of every month at 7 at Suddenlink, room 202. But yeah, you can message me through the website if you do go to the link into the website, Ghostlight Children's Theater website, which is, I'll go ahead and give you the address, but you're not going to get it that quick. But it's Ghostlight Children's Theater RCCTP Wix WIX site SITE.com / Ghostlight Children's. I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big, yeah.
That's why I tell people to go to Facebook and get the link.
No doubt. I completely understand now.
Yeah, it's a big long one. So, but yeah, that's the easiest way. But like I said, I'm very, very responsive. I won't make you wait long to get answers. And just anything you have a question on, get a hold of me, ask me, and we will find a way to get you involved, your children involved, or whatever direction you want to go with it. So we are here to serve this community.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's a wonderful project you have out there. As you keep saying, it's for the kids, and that's what it comes down to. So I want to thank you, sir, for spending some time with me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't let you speak more, but you know how I get when I talk about the kids.
Yes, and I was actually just telling my wife that earlier today. I'm like, I'm probably not going to get a lot of words in edgewise, but hey, you know what? It's not about me. It's about you and the Ghostlight Children's Theater Project. So,
well, we appreciate your support and you helping us get the word out there, Mike.
okay, you have a wonderful evening.
You too, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.